Hey folks, what a view behind me. I'm at Black Bull Markets headquarters here in Auckland, New Zealand. Speaking of views, you can get TradingView paid plans for free at Black Bull Markets, saving you up to $600 a year. That's right, get either the Essential, Plus or Premium plans absolutely free, and all you need to do is trade from one lot a month at Black Bull Markets. And you can also get a 100% deposit bonus for your first deposit up to $1,000. All you need to do is click the Trading Nut link in the description below. Hey, if you like futures because of the tight spreads and clear setups, go check out Blue Guardian Futures. They let you start trading futures with up to $450k in funding. The best part, you keep 100% of your first 15k in profits, then 90% after that. No activation fees, weekly payouts, and they're sponsoring Chris Eubank Jr. and Birmingham City FC. Go take a look at blueguardianfutures.com or click the link in the description.
What's going on, guys? Hope everybody's having a great week. It is Brinks Trades, aka Brinks, aka the resident indices analyst for the Trading Nut podcast. Hope everybody again is having a great, great week. Had a great trading week. I'm trying to find my background. I don't know where my background went. That's weird. All my backgrounds disappeared. Whatever. So, I'm gonna take that up with Cam later, I guess. All right. So if you guys don't know me, I am the resident indices analyst for the Trading Nut podcast. Every week I come on here and basically break down where the indices are going to go. You know, we had a really good week in terms of projections, what we think the market's going to run to on a few different assets. So I want to pull those up and we could talk about them. But again, if you're not familiar with my story, I've been trading for a decade, started in the Forex space, moved to indices, and then I really just trade a combination of both at this point, right? Depending on whatever the market is. I've moved kind of away from the idea of being a Forex trader or a futures trader, and I'm just a trader, right? And I'm just looking at the market to see what the opportunities are. And I think that's honestly how trading should be, right? Once you get to a certain proficiency level, you should be able to trade whatever you want to trade. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and let's see if this works. Oops. Give me 1 second, guys. It's not working. Y'all having a bunch of technical difficulties here today, but while that's going on, I'd love to see where people are calling in from. Can see me, hear me. That's weird. Yeah, I don't know. It's been a lot of technical difficulties with StreamYard lately. Trying to share my screen and it's not letting me share my screen. So let me do this. While we're waiting and while we're getting set up, if anybody has any questions at all about general trading questions, I'm down to answer those while I'm getting my screen set up. But it's just weird because it's not letting me pull up my screen. So let me try this again. And where you guys are calling in from. I'd love to see again where people are calling in from. But I see. I keep popping in and out, guys. Sorry, because I'm trying to share my screen and it's not letting me do that. It's like freezing up every time I do it. I don't know if it's on my end or if it's on the computer's end. But give me 1 second. We'll figure this out. Boom. There we go. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. I don't know what's going on with my screen there, computer there. But all right, cool. So anyway, what I said before is, I come on here every week and I do the breakdowns for the indices charts. So I want to break these down and start with dollar as usual. Again, I'm going to touch on a lot of different things today. So indices, the dollar analysis, because again, dollar is king. You hear me say that every week. If you understand where dollar's going, you can understand where the rest of the markets are going. So I'll make myself a little smaller and then do that. So again, so when we talk about dollar analysis, there's a couple things that we wanted to see from dollar this past week. So if we go back to the weekly time frame on dollar, we saw the market really run, and we wanted to see the market really to come out and take this low, right? This is what we called out last week. We're pretty much in a downtrend, a deep downtrend on dollar. And so coming into this, we wanted to see the market really continue to run for sell side. And I said, hey, we rejected from this huge fair value gap here at 100.50. Where are we headed to? Well, we're probably headed to a level of sell side, right? So again, I wanted to see the market continue to run lower and run down. And yeah, it's pretty much what we got. So we came out pretty much this week and took this low. I also was looking at these relative equal lows sitting right here, which we swept already. But what I'm really kind of interested in for next week on dollar is, again, the continued bearishness in this trend. But I'm looking at this volume imbalance right here that we tapped into right there. I want to see how we react to this. We did close above this previous low, so really just watching this area. I am going to suggest that we are going to continue to go bearish, but I want to see how we react to this previous low that we just took, even though we swept it and then kind of came back up, and closed above it. So I want to see how we react to this moving forward. So that's the level that I'm going to be watching. But I want to see the market take this level, a sell side. If we get a very, very rapid run, then I'm going to be looking at these lows right here. So let me label this out. So I'm going to be watching this volume imbalance. And the key levels that I'm going to be looking at for this week are 99.60, 99.7.13, the mid level of this volume imbalance at 96.84, and then this low here at 94.46. So ideally, what I want to see is the market really continue to go lower. If we look at the daily time frame, it gives us a little bit better clue as to what we think the market's going to do here. If you can look and see that, obviously we traded out starting in this really inverting this fair value gap here over this past week, and then really just gap down to close the week out, running into sell side here. There is, we did on Friday, we did come back up and take the high of this gap right here. And if you look here, you could tell that this candle is a little bit misaligned. There's actually a volume imbalance. It filled. So if you look here, we closed here and then we opened here. This is a gap from the close of this candle to the open of that candle down there. So I'm noting this as well. And if you were to jump down to like a 1 minute time frame, for instance, and you would see that gap right there. From where price closed there to open there. So a gap down. So looking at the daily time frame again, there's a lot of signs and signatures here in price. that let me know that the market still wants to go lower, and we're not done with this run yet. So I'm going to be looking for increased bearishness. This actually was a really big, this level here when the price traded back up. This actually had me shook for a second when I was watching it on Friday. But it was just trading back up into that volume imbalance and then dropping. So again, you always want to pay attention to your daily levels when you're trading, just because price could be trading back to a daily level, and even though you might not be looking at it on your 5, your 15-minute, your 1-minute, whatever time frame you're trading on for entries, you want to have a bigger idea and a better picture of what's going on in the bigger time frames as the market is running and doing its thing. So that's something to just kind of be on the watch for. Let's go ahead and go to Euro. Euro actually played out to a T from what we wanted to see this week. Again, we had this long-term level here that I called out, and I said, hey, for the past few weeks, I mean, pretty much since the beginning of May, I wanted to see this price level hit. We formed this high at the beginning of April, and it took almost 2 months of trading to get back to this level. And so again, coming into last week, what we wanted to see here is the markets trade back down into potentially even taking a low here, but then going higher the rest of the week. And so I had 2 initial targets mapped out. The first one was this one right here. The second one was this high right here. I actually genuinely thought coming into Friday, I think that we weren't going to, or Thursday or Friday, that we probably were just going to take this high, and maybe this would have been a next week thing. But what inevitably happened with news is we ran through all that. So we ended up moving about 200 points with news, closing above this on Thursday, trading back down into this range, really back into this order block right here. And what I want to see going into this week is, again, we still have to run with the idea that the market wants to still go higher. This wick really shows us that the market tried to trade into these lowers, these areas right here, grab some type of liquidity and then go higher. If you look very closely, you can see that there is a fair value gap right here. So I wouldn't be surprised if the market did want to run back down here one more time. But with these strong wicks like this, really showing us that the market has no desire to kind of go back into that. So worst case scenario, I'm going to draw out like this. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger so you guys can see. I'd love to see the markets trade into this range right here and then continue to go higher at the best case scenario. And then I'll be looking at a few different levels there. So this fair value gap exists at 1.486 or 1.1486, the high end of that. But the midpoint here, I'll be watching the consequent encroachment of this wick to see how we react to it. That takes place at 1.524. Right there. And then, yeah, so those are the 2 levels that I'll be watching, and I'm just going to label this CE of daily wick. But I'm very much bullish. So what am I looking for the market to hit? Well, I want to see the market hit last week's high. This is going to be my first initial target here at 1.63. From where we're currently sitting, it's about 80 pips out. So it's not a bad run. For the week. And then weekly, we did sweep and close below that. So that's something to note. But really, I want to see this high taken this week. This is what I'll be looking for on a weekly level, is can we get up to this next high at 1.723? It's going to be the zone that I'm looking at and looking for. And there's also a fair value gap that sits, the market's been sitting in that range right there. But I wouldn't worry as much about that as much as I worry about the high being taken. So I'm going to be looking at that level. It's called, again, 1.6931. That's going to be the level that I'm looking to see if the market can hit. Again, currencies are moving pretty slowly right now. I mean, we pretty much spent the last month in a I guess technically it was a 400 pip range. It wasn't that slow, to be honest with you. but it's 2 months in this 400 pip range. So it's not really moving a lot on the day to day, like 60, 70 points back and forth. And this zone was really choppy. When you look back at previous price action, I mean, we jumped like 500 points, 600 points in like 2 weeks. And then we spent 2 months in this range. And that's the thing about currencies that's kind of frustrating at times, especially if you're a more experienced trader, is that it's not as fluid, it doesn't move as fast. But that's also a good thing for a lot of people because it doesn't, your emotions don't get as involved, and knee jerked around like they do on maybe some of the indices. You go to the comment section. Okay, cool. Not too many comments. Shout out to Jackson, first time here. VA, shout out to VA, DMV in the house. Let's go to GBP USD. Same idea here. Again, I'm looking at the futures version of pound, but same idea as GBP, right? So we really took out these highs. We've been trading in this range, consolidating, and I wanted to see this basically do the same thing. So I saw coming into this week, I saw this order block here that we had formed, and ideally wanted to see it trade into this order block, but then close above consequent encroachment of that or mean threshold, and then keep running higher. So we had 1, 2, 3 hits to the high. So we'll see what happens here this week. We are showing some weakness off of this level here. We took this high, which was the one that I called out, these relative equal highs sitting right there. Just swept them barely. So again, want to see what happens here. Do we break structure and go lower? That's on a weekly perspective. But ideally, I got to stick with the bias going higher because there hasn't been any real signs of weakness just yet. So I'm going to be looking at this next zone on the daily time frame to get to 1.3753. Again, obviously, I want to see how the market reacts coming back up to last week's high, which is 1.3643, and see if we get any rejections from that. Let's go to indices now. Let's check out the indices. So Nasdaq played out beautifully. So if I go to the weekly time frame, there was actually everything played out beautifully on indices, but there was a couple levels that I wanted to see targets, and really the first one was this one right here, right? So this one was the MNQ level right there. This level was the level that I had targeted, and in addition to last week's high, which was right here. So I wanted to see how this market reacted to this fair value gap. Again, I told everybody that I didn't really want to be a buyer over this until we inverted, because it could reject. And if you look at the weekly level here, we really had traded back up to that consequent encroachment level of that daily fair value gap and really failed to close above it. We did come back down into this weekly imbalance right here and kind of retest that structure again. So I'm still bullish here, but currently doesn't look great. If you jump down to the 4-hour time frame, there is this huge imbalance right there that's been filled, rebalanced. This almost looks like a clean breaking market structure, head and shoulders, whatever you want to call it. So what I'll be looking for here this week is I was gonna say I was gonna set this out, but I'll be kind of taking this one day by day. I want to see how we react to a few levels. This imbalance here, I'm gonna make this less visible. Right there. I want to see how the market reacts to that level here. We currently are rejecting it. Do we come down and take this low for a continued run? And if so, kind of monitoring that day by day. But I think long term, I think we still are bullish. We traded into this order block here. We wicked below it. Respect the consequent encroachment of it. So technically this is still bullish structure. But I'm going to take this one day by day, and I might be looking for more intraday setups than anything else, right? Seeing if we can just get a play, taking out the high of the day, trading to the low of the day. I'll say sometimes the daily bias is not as important on these. because they move so much. And so really it's just kind of finding a clean setup for the day versus kind of getting stuck to the daily bias at times. A daily bias is going to be very, very beneficial for, currencies because, these things move pretty frequently. I also do want to note the fact that there is a pretty big conflict going on in the Middle East right now. So don't be surprised if we have huge gaps on Monday. I should probably say that at the beginning, but we know the market makers use these opportunities to really, move price however they see fit. So don't be surprised if we have a very tumultuous Monday or market open tomorrow night. Let's go to SPX. There's a couple things that I wanted to see, or ES, I guess, as the futures traders would call it. So long-term draw on liquidity was this level right here. That's what I wanted to note, right? And that's what we called out last week. We wanted to see the market really dip down into here and then go higher. We hit that draw pretty early in the week. It was Tuesday, and then we spent the rest of the week trading away from that. So same setup here where we had a huge break in market structure with the news. I'm going to be watching how we react to this fair value gap here. Let me clear this up. But this imbalance from this low to this high right there, how we react to this. If we keep seeking lower liquidity, then I'm going to start looking for sells. If we fail to really respect it, then I'm probably back to my bullish bias. So same thing with Nasdaq. Even though the higher time frame, if we look at the higher time frame, draw on liquidity here, we traded into this order blocks just like on Nasdaq, traded below it, respected it, right? So technically still bullish structure. This 4 hours kind of giving me a different story though. So I really want to see what happens. Do we take this high out or do we trade lower? So it'll probably be a very, very chill Monday for me. I'm gonna look at the news calendar too, because making sure that there's nothing crazy going on. And then what? Let's see. Let's look at YM, and then I guess we can call it a day. If you guys have any charts that you want me to look at or analyze, we can break those down too. Where's YM? Yeah, where's my YM? Oh, there it goes. Okay, so same idea on YM, right? On the daily time frame. Let's see if I had. It's weird. Okay, never mind. Well, I'll mark it up right here. So for YM or it's US500 or sorry, US30 or Dow Jones, whatever you want to call it, we are in an area where we've been trading. We've been really wicking off of this fair value gap right here. Oh, there it goes. Boom. So we've really respected the zone and we've had a huge rejection from this. We did, just like in ES and Nasdaq, we are trading into this order block right here. But this one's a little bit more, it doesn't have a wick on it, so it's a little bit more volume. So what I want to see here is I want to see the market. I want to see how the market respects this imbalance here, or this order block here. So what I'll be looking for, and this one's a little bit more prominent. We had a daily break of structure. So this could signal a little bit better that the market wants to go down. Whereas ES and Nasdaq were kind of still stuck in this imbalance here. Nasdaq or YM really traded into it and rejected it. So what am I looking at here? I want to see if the market will go lower. I think we might be lower, going lower this week. We've spent a lot of time in this range here dealing with that weekly fair value gap. So would not be surprised if we had a counter trend week. So what I'll be looking for here is to see if the market maybe even trades back into this order block here and then goes lower. So that's what I'll be looking for. Even jumping out of the 15-minute time frame. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, so ideally, what I want to see potentially for the market to run to this week is start taking lows, and so on YM, I'm gonna really be looking at a couple of levels here. This level here at 41,871, and then also this level here at 41,272. So again, a little power 3 action to take us down there, or maybe even there. I'm going to say this is the low because it's very obvious, it's very open, but also we'll be watching how the market reacts to this level there. Some relative equal lows there and some stuff that I think the market can run into. So let me get rid of this just to make it more visible. And yeah, 41,903 and 41,202. So could be a really good week for a lot of indices. So let me look at comment section. If you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them in. They could be charts you want me to look at. They could be more or general trading questions or whatnot. And the last one that I'm going to look at is gold. I'm going to look at gold just to see what's going on here. Gold is the only one that didn't take its high out of all the currencies yet last week. So what I'm going to be looking for is the market to really continue to run up on gold. I like gold. Now I like gold, I guess, but I like gold to go higher. So that's what I'll be looking for. We are kind of wicking off of that level there on the daily, on the 4-hour time frame. We did close above it on the daily. So that's a good sign. This is my target. I want to see if we'll trade back into maybe this imbalance here or something like that and then go higher. So I think out of all the currency ones, gold is probably the one that I like the most just because it hasn't taken its high yet. We also know with, conflict comes people wanting to invest in gold. So it could be a really good opportunity, good play next week. So that's all I have for you guys for this week. If you guys have any questions, let me know. I will do a plug for all of my social media. Oh, shoot. Yo, you're right. I just saw that. So you guys didn't see ES or YM. Okay, so let me do this instead. Let me go back to ES, YM, and we'll look at gold. So with Nasdaq or with ES, again, we saw the market trade back into this level after taking its long-term draw on liquidity. It's respecting this order block right here. After looking at YM, we're kind of in a space where, again, we don't want to bet against bullishness, but we did hit this long-term draw on liquidity. So I want to see how the market reacts to this, right? We're in a 4-hour structure. We're technically in a bearish structure. I'm not trying to buy any of this until the market gives me some type of 4-hour break of structure. So what I will be looking for is sells until the market shows us either that it inverts at old 4-hour fair value gap and trades transitions back to bullishness, or it wants to go lower or keep going lower. So what I'm looking at here is I want to see the market how this market respects this level. And I'm going to be looking at 2 levels on ES in the short term. This could change day to day. Nasdaq, the indices are very change day to day ish, more so than currencies, which allow for a little bit better swing trading opportunities. So ES trading down into this level right here to go lower. That's what I'll be looking at for this week at 5,960. And then YM, same idea here. 4-hour structure. The difference between YM and NQ is that this 4-hour imbalance here, ES and Nasdaq are they're still trading in this imbalance, whereas YM has already kind of shown that it wants to run lower. So I'm going to be looking for bearish opportunities at market open. Then if we go to gold, again, I like gold right now out of all the currency pairs for this week because it is the only one that hasn't taken its that current swing high, which is right here. So I want to see if the market can continue to run up here and go higher. We did close above this previous high here, so it's a good sign. So what I want to see is the market trade back into one or two of these imbalances from this low to this low to this high right here, or from this low to Monday's low, which hasn't formed yet. So wherever this, this top end of the fair value gap is, which will be Monday, from that low to whatever that high, the low of Monday is, and see if we can get a trade into that. So that's what I want to see happen this week. Yeah, so we'll see. And there's also some areas of resistance right there too that we think the market could run into. Yeah, so let me do that there. So that's all I got for you guys. Let me know if you guys have any questions at all, and we can keep it there. Again, if you want to follow me on social media, again, Brinks Trades is the social media platform that I be on all the time. And then I will drop a plug for my Discord community called the Talented 10th Trading. Only 10% of traders are profitable, so that's why that community is called that. So we want to be on the right side of the 10%. So check it out. I have a link to my free Discord in there if you've never been a part of that. It's a free resource. You guys can stay in there. Again, I update stuff as it changes. There's also a paid mentorship community where you guys can get access to my premium Discord, where I basically break down my entire course in entirety, and then also go live a couple times a week to break down real life scenarios. So I think it's a really good resource, and I think it's something that you could really genuinely benefit from as a trader on the free side of the paid side. So if it was me, again, I say this all the time, but 10 years ago, there wasn't all these resources with trading. So, having a resource like this where someone's calling stuff out, even on the live calls for free, it's crazy, and so if I'm calling these things out pretty accurately on live, what do you think we're doing in the Discord on a regular basis? So I will say that if you guys have any other questions, I'll stay on for a couple of minutes. I am going to turn my screen off for just a second, but I'm still here. So if you have any other questions at all about trading, or just stuff you're struggling with, it could be general stuff, or if you want me to look at another chart, I will do that. But yeah, so I'm still here. I just have to turn my camera off for 1 second. So Okay, guys. So I didn't see any questions come in, but I will go ahead and end the live here. Again, check out talented10trading.com. And then also, hey, follow me on social media, Brinks Trades. So if there's any questions you guys have, feel free to shoot me on there. I'm pretty active. I am a real person, right? So I always respond back to things. So if you guys have any questions from that, let me know and we'll go from there. Peace.
Hey folks, what a view behind me. I'm at Black Bull Markets headquarters here in Auckland, New Zealand. Speaking of views, you can get TradingView paid plans for free at Black Bull Markets, saving you up to $600 a year. That's right, get either the Essential, Plus or Premium plans absolutely free, and all you need to do is trade from one lot a month at Black Bull Markets. And you can also get a 100% deposit bonus for your first deposit up to $1,000. All you need to do is click the Trading Nut link in the description below. Hey, if you like futures because of the tight spreads and clear setups, go check out Blue Guardian Futures. They let you start trading futures with up to $450k in funding. The best part, you keep 100% of your first 15k in profits, then 90% after that. No activation fees, weekly payouts, and they're sponsoring Chris Eubank Jr. and Birmingham City FC. Go take a look at blueguardianfutures.com or click the link in the description.